Hey guys, check it out. A blonde drops off a shirt at the cleaners, right? So on the way out, the lady says, "Hey, come again." She goes, "Nah, it's just toothpaste."
Oh,
If I
oh,
had a nickel, that's all I'm saying.
Every time I had to rub come at him,
oh my God.
no.
We're resulting to blonde jokes.
There we go. What the hell?
Hey, man. Welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast, dude.
Well, good evening and good afternoon and whatever, and welcome to the Big Bad Broadcast. Thank you, Tommy Chong.
And whatever.
And what?
You said and whatever.
And whatever.
And whatever.
How
Whatever.
werewolves
I'm
of
from New
London.
York. And what? I'm from New York. So we got a great show for you today. We have nothing planned. And we have Craig Mitchell.
Whatever, I'm
Mike.
here. Hello.
We have Mike Grief. And
Yes,
I'm John
whatever, man.
Bertino. And we're about to start the show.
We-
What's going on this week, guys?
Oh, it's been a great week, John. I got to tell you. It's been great.
Really?
Well,
I'm glad somebody had a great week.
Where do I start? I'm talking like this because you said whatever. Where do I start? You know I drive rideshare, right?
You
I
give him
drive
11.
the
You give him
rideshare.
11% of fucking Hebrew in him, and
I
and
know.
now he's-
Look at me. I'm going. Do you want a nosh? Do you want a schmear?
Get
Let's
me a
get it
Kanish,
smeared.
you bastard.
I
That's
drive
so funny in New
rideshare,
York.
and I had a guy in my car. I picked him up in Koreatown. His friends dumped him in my car. I didn't even know who it was. And I didn't realize he was super drunk until we were halfway there when I heard noises coming out of the back seat. And I asked him, "Are you sick? Are you getting sick?" And
He was cooking.
yeah,
What do you
Yeah,
want? You want number 69?
he had a hibachi, and and he goes, "No throw up, no throw up." And when I found out that noise was him snoring. When we got to the destination, he was so out cold I couldn't get him out of the
Wait,
car.
he told you no throw up?
That's what he said. No throw up, and that's fine with me. I don't care if I don't care if you sleep, but he was out cold. He was that drunk. And when I got to the destination, it was pouring rain. It was 2:30 in the morning. I could not get a nuclear bomb could have went off, and I couldn't get this guy out of the car.
Because he didn't want to go. Because he didn't want to go into your apartment.
Wait a minute, are you saying-
that's
are you-
like,
Come
John?
on,
I have
that's
to
a
have
funny
fun.
joke. You didn't hear what I said.
He said,
He didn't want to go into your apartment.
Guy, he
Yeah.
couldn't move. He couldn't move because he couldn't get the tape off of his wrists. I mean, that's why he couldn't move. Fucking
Oh
crap.
my God! Anyway, it's all that aside. So I decided I'm going to pull him out of the car. So I open up the passenger door and I go to pull him under his armpits, and he hooks his feet under my driver's seat, and I can't get him out.
So he's
Finally,
unconscious, but he's conscious
Yes.
enough to fucking.
Just use a saw.
and it was no, it was raining, right? It was raining. Water's like rushing by the curb like a little river. I trip when I'm pulling him out, and he lands in that water, and he's sleeping on his side in that water, and I'm like.
It's very comfortable.
And I had to make sure that he wasn't like drowning and his head. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. I can't leave him here. I have to call the cops. So I get on my phone and all of a sudden I hear him scream. He goes, "Ah!" Like, you wake up and you're in a river.
That was his Godzilla scream.
And I come over to him, and now he's standing up, but his feet are like widespread, and he's leaning over like he's about to do a header into the curb. And I go, "Stay there, just stay there." And I went and got his phone out of the car. Then I helped him sit down on the apron of the driveway at his home.
And gave yourself a big tip.
I gave myself a well. I gave him a big grope.
What a nice guy. I left one of my passengers sitting in the rain on the curb.
Dude, he won't remember.
Oh, so
Like,
that makes it okay because he won't remember.
What am I
He
going to do?
won't
Carry him into the
remember.
house?
Yeah,
I know his phone number.
into the house, and
His friends called the ride for him, so I didn't know his phone number. I didn't know anything about him. Some
How do you
friend.
know you were taking him to the right place? You might have been taking him to like freaking Jeffrey Dahmer's house.
Well,
No, he doesn't like Korean food.
Oh no! Everybody's got to eat, Mike. Everybody's got to eat.
Hey, it's Benihana for humans.
No, so I put the phone in his lap. I said, "Sir, have a happy New Year," and I left.
There you go. So you left him with a phone and
His phone in the rain on a curb, a dry curb. Well, it wasn't in the water anymore.
Right.
And I sprained every muscle in my back.
Well, I hope
Did the
if
police
I'm ever
come?
drunk, which I hope I never am, in the back of an Uber, I hope I get a more compassionate driver
What
than
am I
you,
supposed to do,
Greg.
Mike? Am I supposed to carry this guy like
You're
a
supposed
fireman's
to.
can?
Have you
You
never
know what
seen the
Jeffrey
movies?
Dahmer's theme song was?
What's that?
No,
Did you
no.
ever know you were my hero?
No, my hero. You are so delicious. You're my hero.
I just made that up. That's pretty
Hey,
funny.
Or a
hey,
sub if you're in
Greg, you've never seen the
dominance.
movies? You take the guy to Starbucks, you get him a coffee, you listen to his problems. The man obviously has issues. Why else would he be so drunk? He wanted to talk to somebody, and you left him sitting in the
Not
rain.
for an
on the
$11
curb.
fucking ride, Mike. No.
It's not about the money, man. It's about humanity.
That humanity.
About the humanity.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't leave him in the river, so I'm fine.
I'm sorry. So did the police come before you left?
I didn't call.
Well, you just let them sit in the rain?
I let him sitting on the curb, yeah, in front of his house.
Guarantee that guy is dead. He fucking died right. He
No,
died right there of
dead.
exposure. No, he's dead. He's
I
dead.
think you should have called the police to cover yourself.
What did I do? I didn't cover myself.
You had pulled him, you touched them, you pulled him out of the car.
Oh, you touched
I
him.
never
Gave him a little
touched him. I
grope.
never
Oh.
touched him.
Gave him a little.
I don't know.
Wake up, wakey, wakey. Eggs
Here,
and
let me,
bacon.
John, get ready with the bell. Here, let me grab you by your. There you go. No, it was
wow.
nothing like that at all. Nothing. No, I just wanted him out of my car because I wanted to keep on earning money.
Did you ever think about getting a job where you can have some human self-respect? I mean,
Wow.
Dude, this was the job I chose for
I
that.
still think you should have called the cops.
You really? Do you really think so?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
say,
wait
"Look,
an
I'm
hour for them
Uber
to show
driver.
up?
This guy's drunk. I just left him sitting in front of his house.
What, and wait an hour for them to show up, and I don't.
You don't have to wait once you call.
see, I thought you took this job just to meet interesting people, but I guess you just did it for the money.
I thought you did it. I thought you did it to make the world a better place.
Better place, man. One drunk at a time.
One drunken. Well, another thing happened this past Friday. I was driving up near Echo Park, and I
Did you
ran
drop
over.
somebody else off in the
Was
rain
that
in Echo
song?
No, I
Park?
ran over a skunk.
Ran over a skunk.
Gigantic skunk, but I didn't hit him. I ran over. I actually drove over him. I didn't.
so
hurt
you-
him.
okay.
Was he ever at one time a president?
I wish. No, I drove over the skunk.
I'd rather smell a skunk than
He
fucking.
unleashed under my car. He let it go.
He unleashed.
He
What kind of friggin'
As
gay
the
shit is
Grinch.
that? He unleashed.
He unleashed. He let it go.
As the Grinch would say, stink, stank.
For 3 hours, my car smelled like Donald
You
Trump's
have no
armpit.
sense of smell,
You know what
right?
you should have done? You should have went back and picked up the Korean guy and put him in the car.
There you go.
That'll wake
Introduced
him
him. You could have introduced him to the skunk. He would have had a buddy, maybe a
Yeah, no,
pet.
you're right. I have no sense of smell. I couldn't tell.
So you couldn't tell.
The guy I had an Australian guy in the back of the car, and his eyes, he goes, "Oh my God, mate, you can't smell that." I'm like, I have no idea. I can't smell shit. No.
He thought it was you.
You know what? He probably thinks I cut a fart. That's what he thinks.
That's the worst.
I let one go. I did. I was sorry. I had Taco Bell. Blam,
Well, we talked about this the other day. It's like I can't tell the difference. You might have run over a joint. I can't tell the difference between the smell of a skunk and the fucking weed people smoke today.
Well, it'd have to be pretty strong weed, I think.
That
to put
weed
that-
smells like skunk. Maybe
It
you hit a
smells
bag
like skunk. I'm glad I don't fucking smoke anymore. Just shoots and heroin in my ass, but no, just
Maybe
kidding.
you hit a
Nothing.
bag of weed.
Maybe you hit
a
bag
walking
of-
bag of weed.
Yes, man. Oh, God.
Yeah, it was hard. It was horrible. It was those are the dangers you run into when you drive rideshare.
Hey, how about that friggin' airplane that lost? I'm only bringing this up because John's got to fly. I just flew. I'm flying again. It's like I love these friggin' airline stories that we all fly, and it's like, how does a door just pop off a fucking plane?
Somebody wanted air. There was a skunk on the plane.
Well, how about the guy that's walking along and finds an iPhone underneath the tree, and he picks it up and hits the thing, and it
works.
It's got the flight number on it and the baggage, and it's in airplane mode. I dropped my phone on my desk once, and it's shattered.
Wait, was it a 15?
I dropped my phone on my desk and it shattered.
16,000 feet.
It's a great commercial for the OtterBox for the case that holds the damn thing. Fucking
Or
jeez.
for the phone itself.
A woman found a headrest in her backyard.
Better than
Better
finding
than
a
a
head.
She knows she found a
Wow.
headrest, and she goes, and she had just flown on Alaska Airlines. She goes, boy, that looks like an Alaska Airlines headrest. And I'm like, how do you know? I mean, I would never know that. I don't
See,
even pay attention to
I
that.
wouldn't even call. I would just keep. Who couldn't use an extra headrest? I'm always looking for a place.
can't
for
touch
it.
that, man. It's like evidence.
Chris and I are flying on Alaska Air
Really?
from Alaska. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
a friend of the show, Julia Scotti, she was on the show. She posted that she's flying today on the same plane, the Max 9 or whatever. If there's, I don't know.
thought they grounded them.
No, they.
Oh, then she's
well,
going on a
yeah.
different plane then. Okay.
Well, no,
Yeah,
they're testing them or whatever they do. They're opening and closing the door a few times to make sure they're.
No,
all-
it's a secondary emergency door. It's not really an emergency door, but it can be
Wait, but-
used one.
But now, just think about if you were on that flight. If I like, there was a little kid and his shirt got fucking ripped off, and it's like, I mean, they were only at about 3,000 feet, I heard, but still, wouldn't you be?
Oh,
I
that's
would be
all.
shitting my fucking. I'm in a plane, and there's a big
Mike,
gaping
in
hole.
all fairness, as a big tough guy, if all of a sudden the plane hits one thing of turbulence and the pilot goes, "Put on your seatbelt," you're in full panic.
Hey,
Me too.
You know what? If you look, and anyone who says they're not, it's full of shit. It's like, okay, man, there are people that fly constantly and it doesn't bother them. But if you look around, when they hit that turbulence, everyone is. I was sitting next to
I
a
hate
lady the last time I fly, and we hit this turbulence, and she just was going, "Oh Jesus, oh Jesus, oh Jesus." I'm like, I'm going, at least I ain't as
listen
bad
to
as
this.
her.
Listen to this. My daughter called me. I forgot to tell you and said if Mike was ever on the plane, he would have never got on. She was getting ready to fly to LA this week, and when she was getting on the plane, have like it's two gates next to each other.
Yeah.
The other plane was going from Orlando to Atlanta, and the pilot comes out and goes, "I'd like to make an announcement. If you're going to take this flight, you'll be totally safe, but I'm going to tell you right now,
You'll
it's
be.
gonna
I love
the
that.
bumpiest flight. It's going to be the bumpiest flight you've ever been on. Your seatbelt will be on the entire time. You will not be able to get up, and it's going to be pretty scary."
They came out and
And
announced that.
He goes, "My suggestion would be you change your flight unless you have to be there."
Really? That's
And-
fucking well. I would take his advice. When the
And,
pilot comes out, "Hey, how you doing, everybody? Let me tell you a little something, okay? Plane's probably gonna make it. I don't think that's an issue, but you're probably gonna shit your pants while we're flying.
He
You're
just
probably gonna
knows-
shit yourself."
He wanted an empty airplane to do a party plane. That's
Yeah, come on. He wanted to join the Mile
how
High
crazy
Club
is that?
while he was flying. I want a blowjob while I'm flying.
But on the other side of the coin, and this is true, I don't fly much, but the last time I was in turbulence, I was drinking. I was actively drinking. And I was really drunk, and it didn't bother me at all. I couldn't give a shit.
Most of the turbulence doesn't bother me either, but it's like it's only when have you ever been on, John? I'm sure you have, where the plane is dropped like 1,000 feet.
I was on a flight with Joe
That is
Silky.
fucking scary.
Did I tell you this last week? I was on a flight with Joe Silky.
Really? And we're supposed to
Flying-
believe that, John?
We don't
We were
believe it.
fly-
Come on.
We were flying to Albany when I was working with CSN,
You,
and we were in one of those commuter.
Name drop.
you were on CNN?
No, CS.
Oh,
Crosby's.
Those days. Anyway, we were driving along and flying along.
I remember when I was hanging out with Picasso, John,
Listen,
and
the plane dropped 2,000 feet. My arm came up and punched me so hard in the side of the face.
you
I was
punched
this.
yourself.
My whole side of my face was black and blue. Silky's elbow from hitting the armrest from his shoulder to his wrist was purple, like a
Wow.
sleep tattoo. And I cracked the back of one of my teeth.
Jeez.
I mean, that was worse. And the only worst one was
What were you
I
eating
thought-
at the time, John?
the worst part, the one that was kind of scary was I was flying on one of those little commuter jets. And I
Right.
sit down, and one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen sits down next to me. And I go, "Oh my God." And so we start talking, and she goes, "Oh, yeah, I'm flying up to Green Bay. My boyfriend is the field goal kicker for the Green Bay Packers."
Ooh.
And we take off, and we hit a flock of birds.
Oh, bird strike.
And the plane just goes nose down.
Yeah, no
Just
shit.
keeps dropping. and she reaches over and she grabs my hand and she goes, "I think we're gonna die."
Then
And
you
I
should have
go,
took her hand and reached it
and,
down. Oh, sorry.
No.
and then all don't even go there. Then all of a sudden we heard like this weird fucking horrible noise.
They released the cats.
And the pilot came on and said, "We just flew through a flock of seagulls." I go, "I thought that was a band."
Yeah.
Thank you.
And he said, this exact words. He goes, "Have you ever seen Gallagher when he smashes a watermelon? That's what our windshield looks like right now."
Oh, shit. That's what he said?
Yeah. He goes, "We're going back to the airport right now so they can check out the plane."
Where do these guys get their fly side manner? Like you would call it bedside manner. It's like,
I know.
you know, right now the windshield's so fucked up I can't see. But you guys relax back there. Don't worry about it. I'll fucking
Wait, it's even worse. We get back, right? And we pull up to the gate and we landed fine and everything. And we're sitting on the wing, me and the girl, and we're looking out the window.
Wouldn't it
and
be more comfortable in the plane, John?
Well,
You were on the wing?
There's
Wow.
a guy in the engine pulling out hunks of bird.
while you're flying.
It's
Yeah,
Thanksgiving.
while we were flying when we landed.
Oh, when you landed,
Yeah,
yeah.
they pull out chunks of bird and feathers and stuff. And they go, "Now we just got to check to make sure that any of the little whatever's got
As soon as he's got the fucking bird cleared out, we're gonna take off
Yeah,
again.
then we took off again.
And you stayed on the plane.
I had to stay on the
What
plane.
are you gonna do?
I had to
I'm
go.
fucking switching planes. Fuck that, man.
What are the
Who knows
odds of
what was
hitting
damaged?
what are the odds of hitting birds twice? Come
Not
on.
about hitting birds twice. It's about what was damaged.
What are the odds of sitting next to the most beautiful woman you ever saw on the next flight?
Okay, well, did that accomplish anything for you? Did she fucking stroke your ego?
It made me feel good about my life.
You call he calls it an ego, huh? Okay.
There you go.
Well, you
That's-
know,
That's like every fantasy every guy ever had. Like I'm gonna sit on a plane and this gorgeous woman's gonna sit next to me, and halfway through I'm gonna be semi-sleeping, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna feel some hand in my lap, and
happened.
see what happens if you're John Ferrantino. It doesn't happen if you're Mike Grief or Craig Mitchell.
Well, no, when you're Craig Mitchell, you have to grope whoever passes out in your car.
There you go, and bonus points if they're Asian.
It doesn't matter who they are, if it's, as long as it's male or identifies thereof.
You know that feature on an iPhone when you lose your phone, you can track it?
Right.
Can you imagine this woman tracking her phone and goes, "Yeah, it's 200 miles back." And that's at Joe Green's house. On his front
At
lawn.
least they can track the phone. They couldn't track the door. They couldn't find the
They
fucking
found the door.
They
found
found
the
it they found it because the guy called and said, "Hey, you got a fucking one of your doors in my backyard." But they couldn't track it and
It's
see
like
where it was.
I got one of your doors sticking out of the roof of my car.
Yeah, that's it.
But what are the? I mean, think about just think about the luck that I'm sorry if you're walking along the street and an iPhone falls from 3,000 feet and hits you in the head. I think it's
I'm
gonna kill
keeping
you.
it. I'm keeping it.
I think it's going to kill you first, isn't it? If it hits you.
Yeah, you'd be dead. You'd
Yeah.
definitely be dead.
Oh, how about a door? Can you imagine? How'd you die, God? How did you die? Well, God, I was walking along the highway and a door from an airplane hit me and cut
I'd
me.
rather die
And
that
then-
way than
and then
fucking
God
die in a
says-
puddle next to the fucking street where some Uber driver left me.
And then God says,
I got a tip
God-
too, by the way. I did get a tip.
God goes, "Wait, a door fell and hit you? Whoops."
Oops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah. What do you think? I didn't know I fucking sent that door to kill you.
Oh man,
How about years ago? Do you guys remember when the whole roof blew off that Hawaiian airplane?
they did a special on that on air disasters. It's horrifying what happened.
Were you in that one sitting next to the most gorgeous woman you've ever met, John?
No, not at all. Not at all.
That's freaking horrifying.
Yeah.
Any of this shit's horrifying, man. It's like I don't like to fly
Totally
to begin
horrifying.
with.
You get on the plane, next thing you know, it's a convertible.
Yeah. Well, I must be insane because before I fly, I watch you ever see this? It's a show called Air Disasters.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
I watch all of those shows before I fly because I
When do
figure
you stand to go?
watching all of these things, what are the odds that if I'm watching about air disaster that I'm going to be in an air disaster? So,
Well, I mean, they actually did that episode about the Hawaiian flight, and they weren't even sure they could fly it anymore because the structurally they thought the plane was going to fall apart.
let's get on to a more cheery topic. Did you hear about the guy in Alabama who fucking stripped off all his clothes and jumped into at the Bass Pro Shop? He
Now we're
jumped into the
talking.
fish. He jumped into the fish tank. He stripped and fucking did a cannonball into the fish tank.
I
Well,
need
what kind of what?
No, go ahead. Let's finish.
I'm just saying, well, what kind of a fucking nut? What kind of a thrill do you get from getting like a bass up your ass?
I'm trying to think what kind of bait to use. That's what I'm
What
trying
kind
to
of
think
bait?
of.
Maybe he had his
So
little
drunk
his
after
little
that,
worm.
he was so drunk after that he got into Craig's car.
That would be
There you go.
awesome.
What do you do? What do you do for a fucking encore? You go to fucking Dick's and I don't
Dick's.
know, Dick's Sporting Goods. What would you name your sporting goods store? Dick's. Let's be honest.
Would you name your place BJ's?
No, I wouldn't name a place BJ's. I wouldn't name it Dick's. Hey, come on down to Cox and get some fucking sporting goods. We got all your fucking latest sporting goods here at Cox.
That must be tough when you're a kid and that's your name.
Yeah, right.
That's why
Well,
they
isn't it?
that's why they all call themselves Richard.
That's
Oh,
it.
you know who I felt bad for in high? I really did. I felt bad for him in junior, I guess junior high school. Andy Gay.
Andy Dick.
His name was Andy Gay, and he had a brother. I swear to God, Gordon Gay.
Right.
Ugh.
Isn't that what I think what's Tim Allen's real name? It's his real last name is Dick. Timothy
Okay.
Dick.
Like
his,
Andy
his
Dick.
real last name is Dick. Like Andy Dick. Yep.
From what I hear about Tim Allen, it fits him. But thank you. I'm here all week.
He's not a bad guy.
I don't know
be.
Tim
I mean, whatever.
I really meant to say that for Andy Dick. Because I was going to say Andy Dick.
I've worked with Andy Dick too, and actually he was very nice. But you know who you
All right,
hear
so
bullshit stories. You hear things about people.
To go back to your Bass Pro Shop story.
Your Bass Pro Shop.
Yeah, as I said, Bass Pro Shop.
Okay.
That's not the only time that's happened. I've read that a couple of times.
Is that a
They
thing?
say that when it happens, it costs the store over 10 grand.
Really?
Because they have to empty out all the water in the tank.
Why?
Because they say that I guess fish tanks, like when you have a freshwater tank in a store like that, everything has to be pretty sterilized. Otherwise the fish die.
It's like lake water. You would think it'd be like a lake because I mean it's
different.
really
It's different because there's a whole eco thing. But
Did he
they
pee in there?
So I don't know, but that's what they say. It costs tens of thousands of dollars every time somebody does that.
I mean, I
crotch
could see
sweat.
it costing a lot of money if you let's say you dove into a lobster tank at a Red Lobster. That would cost a lot of money because you can't serve any of that food now.
Did you ever see Rich Jenny's 8x10 picture? He was a comedian friend of ours that
I
passed
love
away.
Rich Jenny.
But he had a great picture. He had a bunch of lobsters sitting around the table with bibs on.
Eating a person?
No, with his picture on the bib.
Oh.
And he was in the lobster tank behind him.
That's actually pretty
great.
funny. That is very funny.
If you want to see Rich Jenny, he has his last special is called "The Steaming Pile of Me." It's absolutely brilliant. It's
I was up for a cast member role on I think it was his show.
Platypus Man?
Platypus Man. Yeah. I was up
UPN.
for a series regular on that.
Yeah, that was
night-
UPN's, one of UPN's first sitcoms.
Last night I was flicking through the channels on TV trying to find something to watch.
Flicking.
And I stopped on Judge Judy.
Oh
No,
my God, John.
That woman is Satan.
She is Satan.
She is the meanest person I've ever seen in my life. This woman was suing her tenant because she left halfway through the month, and then when she got into the room, the kid had painted, and it looked like a 3-year-old painted the room. There was paint on the windows.
Right.
There was paint on the rug, paint everywhere. So she said, "I'm keeping you $300 security," right? And Judge Judy goes, "Wow, when was the last time you painted that room before she was there?" And she said, like 3 or 4 years ago. She goes, "Then it needed paint. Bye."
Fine.
wow.
Next time
She
on
goes,
Judge
"Well,
Judy.
she goes, what about the cleanup of the window?" And she goes, not my problem.
She's a nasty bitch, Judge Judy.
That's why she gets ratings. People like to see that.
Exactly.
I
My
know.
mother, that's why when you said Judge Judy, I'm like, John, what the fuck, man? Check your nipples.
Let me.
Check
Did
your
you ever
nipples.
see? on the
Yeah,
other
make sure they're
hand,
not tender.
On the other hand, on TikTok, there's this really nice judge in like Boston area.
Right.
He's the nicest guy in the world. Like this guy goes,
Oh,
yeah,
I like that guy a lot.
yeah. He goes, Your Honor. He goes, I'm sorry. He goes, I know I have a $50 fine, but I just saved up the $50 and I didn't realize
I walked here,
I
right?
didn't.
That guy?
I walked here.
Yeah,
He goes, I
yeah.
walked, and he goes, well, how far did you walk? And he goes, from blah blah blah. And he goes, that's like 8 miles. And he goes, yeah, but I didn't want to be late for the court thing, and I wanted to pay my fine, and I didn't have enough money. And the judge just goes, you know what? How much is an Uber ride? And he goes, it was like $18. He goes, well, just take the $18 out of the $50 you owe us and take a nice ride home.
I'll pick him up. I'll give him a ride home.
You know what I mean?
Oh, I
It
think
was
I've seen
like-
that judge you're telling me. He's an
Yeah,
older
he's
white
really
guy.
nice. He's
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
really nice.
He's
You know,
like
that
one.
guy is really cool. He
Yeah,
really
he's really cool. He's really cool.
I know we
Like,
talked about
like-
it last week, but John, did you finally see the video of that judge getting attacked by that defendant?
No, I can't find it.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
it's on every news for every time I watch the news because
He
the guy was
really,
back in
I mean,
court.
he nailed her, man. That was bad. That was really
He
bad.
flew. He was like fucking Muhammad Ali. Flew like a butterfly and fucking stung like a bee.
Wow.
He was like me leaping for the buffet.
There you go, man. Right
I
into
did
the.
see. I did listen to this morning about them trying to get the appeal for Trump's insurrection case,
Ooh.
and it was kind of cool because like every time the judge brought anything up, to rebut what they were trying to say and tell them how ridiculous it was, he would go, our forefathers felt that. And she goes, I don't think we have to go back to our forefathers to realize that you can't be above the law. And he goes, well, if you were impeached, and she goes, well, I believe he was impeached twice. It was just like, and then they just went on to say that win or lose.
See, I'm gonna write the new fucking horror movie. It's gonna be
Well,
our
they-
forefathers coming back to life and beating everyone to death.
They go win or lose. He wins because all he's trying to do is delay everything so he can pardon himself.
Right.
So
And he actually,
I'm sorry. I can't fucking take this guy. I fucking can't stand him. I
John.
can't stand his fucking face. I
Easy.
can't stand his
John,
fucking
John.
you're
voice.
turning red, John.
Breathe.
And
John,
anything
John.
about it.
You must breathe, John. John, repeat after me. Oh,
Namaste.
oh.
Namaste.
Namaste.
You cannot let these things get to you, John. You must be at peace. You must not let it eat it. Fucking-
No, I
Please,
agree.
Sit back, clear your mind. Envision the sound of one hand clapping.
That would be a great movie if the forefathers like got
I've
reincarnated.
had shows where I've heard one hand clapping.
Yeah.
No,
It
no,
would be.
wouldn't it? Think about that. The forefathers are back, and this time they're pissed.
That's
That'd be
it.
great.
They'd all come back with fucking hammers and just beat people to death with
Well,
fucking
they-
hammers.
They had Abraham Lincoln attacking zombies with a hack action in the movie. They could do
I saw
that.
that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so I watched
Abraham
this.
Lincoln, Vampire Hunter.
I
Yeah.
love that movie.
Mhm.
Do you guys ever get on like YouTube and you just
No.
watch something that you would never watch? Started watching this show about this guy who outfits his canoe with all of this stuff and gets dropped off by a seaplane 300 miles into
Was he drunk?
you
Was
know,
he on my Uber?
into the Yukon, and he's going to paddle like over 300 miles to get picked up by another seaplane in like 5 days. And there's nobody around. There is no communication. There's no cell phone service. There's nothing.
And
there's
who's taping him?
and there.
Yeah,
he's-
exactly.
No, he's got it on all on a GoPro.
Okay.
Got a GoPro, and he's got a mount for the GoPro, and he goes, yeah, they're coming around the bend. I see. Sometimes he'll pull a canoe off and walk to see what's around the bend if he can't see. And
Right.
he goes, oh, there's some rapids with some sweepers. I go, what the hell is a sweeper? A sweeper apparently is a tree that goes across where you're going, and if you don't see it, it kind of sweeps you off the boat. But
Right.
he goes to make a camp, and he goes, oh yeah, look at that. That's a big bear poo. Yeah, I better not stop here for the night. You know,
That shit happened to me. I swear to God, this and not even lying. We were up in the mountains. Me and Patty, we decided we'd go for. We were at Big Bear, so we said let's go for a hike.
the
They name it that for
should
a
have been-
reason.
the
Yeah, but
name
let me-
should have been
No, the thing is you don't think about it. It's just a name for a town. You never expect to see a bear. But we didn't. We're hiking, and in the middle of this trail, that's it. You just see this fucking huge fucking shit, this poo. And I go, that's a bear poo. And it was still a little steamy. And she just
Oh,
looked at me. I looked at, we turned around and we got the fuck out because there's a bear somewhere.
I got a
I mean-
similar story. I was in Alaska, right? And I was going to this thing, and it was called the Raptor Rehabilitation Center,
Right.
where it's like if an eagle gets hit by a car or something, they bring it there and they nurse it back, and whether it can ever
What is this? The Jetsons? How does an eagle get hit by a car?
eagles get hit by the car, apparently.
well, they're hanging out with a skunk, and here I come.
So yeah, I guess they're eating something in the road.
Right.
and,
That's probably
the car comes around the corner or something. Anyway, I've never seen, I'm from Long Island and we have woods, but I've never seen real woods before where like you're walking in and it gets fucking dark,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I look on the map, right? And I can either take a cab, which is like $20, or it says it's a 2-mile walk. And I go, it's a nice day. I'll walk.
This is how every horror movie starts.
I'm walking and I'm walking. I got my little headphone in and I'm walking, and it's getting darker and darker and darker. And now it is dark and it's middle of the day.
Right.
It is dark. I have a picture. That's how dark it was.
Did the flying monkeys come?
And now I start hearing noises, like rustling and shit.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I look down, I come around the bend, and there's a sign in the middle, a mile into this walk, that says, warning, this trail is inhabited by extremely large grizzly bears.
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
Fuck. You
And
think
now
that
I'm
would be at the
going-
beginning of the
And
trail?
now I'm going, that's my point. Now I'm going, well, do I go back out a mile or do I go forward a mile? What do I do? I'm halfway,
I don't
And
know.
I went full and I took the cab back.
So you went back to where you came.
I went straight across. I figured
Oh.
it's a half a mile either way. But boy, it's like every noise you heard, like
Yeah, every fucking step. They just know. You don't even think
Oh,
there's a
shit.
fucking bear behind that tree.
And grizzly bears, man. The other thing too, it's funny when I was to go to Alaska, I always wanted to go fly fishing for salmon because it just looks like a cool thing.
It does
So I
look
found this
cool.
place, it's called Fly Fishing Adventures. So you go and they set you up with the creel, the thing goes on your belt, and the rod, the whole bit, and the permit for the day. So the guy goes, well, you should come next week. And he goes, because, the day's almost over and it's better in the morning. I go, great. So I sign up and everything. I can't wait. I wait the whole week. It's my last week in Alaska. I go there and the guy goes, yeah, it's not going to happen today. And I go, why not? And he goes, well, there's extremely large,
Aggressive, large bears.
1,200-pound older bear that doesn't feel like fishing. So he just waits for you to pull it onto the shore and runs over and takes off your line for you.
That might be fun.
And he goes, but I don't know what else he's hungry for.
Oh,
He
there you
goes,
go.
"If you wanna
That's
take He goes, unless you want to take this bear spray. I mean, bear
Dude.
spray, man. Bear spray is like the
Yeah.
size of a scuba tank.
dude. It's
Yeah,
dude.
really. Fucking bear spray. Let me tell you
Bear
something.
spray is insane.
Yeah, but it's insane on humans. But a fucking bear, he's like grab it and put it under his arms. Hey, bear spray. All right,
Yeah.
bear spray. I smell good today. I got some bear spray.
I
No,
know.
my friend sells that shit. And he said he had a very stupid woman come in, and she says, I was gonna go camping, and they said I had to get this bear spray. And he gets the thing of the bear spray. He goes, here it is. It was like $40. She says, yeah, that's really expensive. He goes, yeah, well, you want to keep the bears away, right? You go, yeah. And then she goes to go out the door, and she goes, by the way, how do I apply this? Where on my body do I spray it?
Oh my god.
And he goes,
In
"Oh,
your
man,
crotch,
you don't-"
honey.
she deserves to be sitting on a curb in the rain.
Spray it in your crotch.
She thought
Oh
she
my
sprayed
God.
herself with the spray. That's what she.
How about, have you ever seen that Netflix special about that guy?
That guy? The one about the guy?
The one
That
about
guy.
the guy that wants to live with the grizzly bears?
What?
Oh, yeah. I think I
It's
know what you're
called
talking about.
Grizzly. And he goes up there he thinks the bears are his friends.
They ate him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He
They
goes
eat
up
'em?
there every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes up there every year and he sends back these videos, and all these people are going, "Hey, these are bears. You can't be. No, they're my friends."
They're
Yeah.
not your
So he
friends.
brings
They're
his
fucking
girlfriend
bears.
with. He brings his girlfriend with him.
They're
right?
wild
Yeah.
fucking animals.
He brings his girlfriend with him, and then there's no beacon from him or nothing.
Oh
So they
no.
go and they find his remains inside this bear. Him and his girlfriend both got eaten.
Yeah, because every year the Bears would tolerate him because they were fattening him up and letting him come.
Yeah.
When he's going to come back one year and it's going to be just right, we're going to eat the shit out of him.
Oh man.
It's called Grizzly Man. It's on Netflix.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh
I
come
mean,
on.
because you know what? That's what. See, and there's a whole thing about this. That's why people who own snakes. They own all these dangerous animals. They believe that these snakes have human emotions, and what it is that it's not. It's your own you're projecting an emotion off of it or something. They seem to, but they're wild animals. They're
Okay.
like,
Okay.
you know,
Yes. Yes.
I never told this story. I don't think on the show. I've told it in the car.
we don't want to hear about your kind of bears.
No, it has nothing to do with bears. I picked up this now. If you're driving rideshare, you have to pick up people with service animals. If you turn them down, you can get suspended. You have to. I'm like, okay, that's fine. I like animals. So I pick up this one woman. She has a cage with her. And I'm thinking, oh, she has a bird, is it a service bird. But I don't
Service
know. I don't know what it is, right? She gets
Sounds
in
like
the
a
car,
song.
and I go, hey, I go, hey, how you doing? What's
Bird.
going on? And she goes, I'm fine. I go, is that a bird? She goes, no. And she holds it up. She goes, it's my pet tarantula.
Mm.
And I go, it's my service. It's her,
A
it's her comfort
service
animal.
tarantula. Shut
Yeah,
the
that's what
So
she says,
full of-
right?
So full of shit.
I'm not kidding. So I go, oh, what is it? He goes, yeah, well, he helps me with my anxiety. And I felt like saying, you mean when
Well,
you
it's not
want
helping
anxiety? Yes, yeah. And she goes, I go, you're not going to let it out, are you? She goes, well, only if I need to.
No.
I go, what would make you need to? She goes, well, when I get really anxious, I take it out and I let him walk on my face and it calms me down.
See, this woman needs to be fucking killed with a shovel. Yeah. I'm sorry, but we don't fucking need you in society. You need
Well,
to fuck
I
somebody
mean-
needs to kill her with a shovel.
I mean, that was like that story I told you a couple of weeks ago about that woman that had a 12-foot or an 18-foot python she used to sleep with.
That was her husband.
And she said she liked the way it would cuddle her.
Yeah.
And then
Huh.
all of a sudden, like,
Expose her to death, right? And then fucking
she
ate her.
would wake up at night and it would be like over her, just looking at
Oh
her.
no, come
And
on.
she took it to the vet, and the vet said, where do you keep this? And she said, why? And he goes, well, I just x-rayed his entire body and it's completely empty. And snakes don't usually empty everything out of their bowels.
Until
Unless they're expecting a big kill. And she said, well, he hasn't been cuddling me lately. He's been
Yeah.
staring at me.
I woke up last night and he
Yes.
was putting pepper and
He
salt
got-
on me.
because
weird.
he's waiting to see which end to start with.
oh man. Well, I mean, I hate spiders and I hate snakes. So this is
I don't
That's
like
right.
spiders and
Spiders,
snakes.
Was that a song?
yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, can you imagine letting a tarantula crawl on your face and that calms you down?
See, they don't bother me.
Mike's
I don't.
right.
First of all, I don't think
Mike's right.
tarantulas
She
are
should be
poisonous.
left on a curb in the rain.
That's right. I don't think tarantulas are poisonous. So I don't know if you have anything to really worry about.
Doesn't
a
matter.
tarantula.
It is
I don't
poisonous.
want it on my
It's poisonous.
face.
Oh yeah, tarantulas are poisonous.
Are they? Because
Yeah.
I remember I was in Arizona, and if you stop, like I think it was near the Grand Canyon, and if you stop, the snakes and the spiders come out and sun themselves. You could see there were tarantulas, and I don't know. I didn't think they were poisonous, but
I hate snakes. I mean, I don't hate.
I like them. I mean, I would have a
I don't
small,
like
like
them
my
either.
my son has a snake, and he's got lizards and shit as pets, but they're not poisonous. He doesn't have like poisonous ones, but you know.
When
When I was a kid, I loved snakes, and I would have a snake. If it was my wife would never fucking. I'd have to live in a garage.
Creepy snakes.
When I was a kid, I stayed at my uncle's house in Arizona before we went to the Grand Canyon. And he actually said to all of us, before you put on your shoes tomorrow morning, make sure you shake them out.
Yeah, check for snakes, man.
He goes, because scorpions will go into your shoes.
Scorpions. See, up where I live, there were freaking snakes and scorpions. I've never seen them, But like, because I live like in whatever, but they're half a mile from me. It's all ranches and whatever. And the people are always saying, yeah, for you coming out at night and you see the scorpions and the light and all that
Yeah.
shit.
Well, when I was working Florida, I was working, and I had I came home after a show, and I pulled back the covers on the bed in the hotel, and there was a palmetto bug under the covers, the size of my
It's a giant
fucking
roach.
fist, the size of my, and I almost had a stroke. I can't stand anything that crawls. I can't. And it worried me. How did it get in the bed?
Tom Drake
Seriously.
used to do that joke.
He was tired, man.
What's the
Maybe it was
difference?
drunk. It got thrown. It was just drunk and it got thrown out of its Uber.
It's when Tom Drake used to do a thing about what the difference between a roach and a palmetto bug was. He goes, they're basically the same, except the palmetto bug also flies.
Flies, yeah.
He goes, same bug, different union.
But they're a lot bigger than roaches, dude. This thing was the size of like,
Yeah.
this. It was gigantic.
It's
Yeah.
like a roach's big flying cousin.
I know. Yeah, we got them.
I remember how I got it off. You know how you flick a sheet? I did that. It went flying into the window, and then I just got like a cup, and I put it over it, and I
You let it go.
And then
The
put
ice
it on the
bucket.
curb.
No, I left it. I left it there. I left it under the ice bucket.
That's what we're gonna call Craig from now. On the curb, Craig.
On the curb,
On
Craig.
the curb.
Off the curb, Craig, instead of off the cuff.
So I've been doing something that I'm sure would interest Craig. I don't know why, but it's a TikTok again. It's
You
this
need the
French.
bell?
No,
No,
it's
no,
this
gay.
French.
It's not
It's
gay.
this French. It's this French chef.
Okay, that's
and,
gay.
And
Yeah.
have you no? And he's just cooking these incredible dishes. And I actually tried one this morning. I cooked sunny side up eggs, but I took this guy's advice. So because I don't like the runny shitty whatever.
I don't like
like-
running shit either.
So I put the eggs in the pan, and then what I did is you put a little salt, a little pepper, a little French, put a little salt, a little pepper, and then you put some water, and then you cover it.
Yes,
and what happens is it
steams.
cooks the steam, cooks the. I was like,
always
wow,
do that. I've been doing that for 100 years.
really? Are you French?
No, I just play one on TV.
But it's something new to me, man. I don't know. Like I said, I'd never.
You
I
ever do that
always
with a
wondered-
burger?
I saw this whole survey the other day, which I thought was the funniest thing. They're talking about how people defog their mirrors,
right?
like when they take a shower. And this guy was like, well, I cover the mirror with toothpaste.
What?
What?
And then I wipe the toothpaste off, and then it's good for about 3 showers. And I'm thinking,
That's a lot of work.
well, does he use a fucking hairdryer?
Or why don't you just open
Use
the
a
fucking
hairdryer?
door, let the mist out of the bathroom, open the window, and fucking in about
Meanwhile,
5 minutes it'll be.
I
I've
saw
always-
this, John. I saw this.
I always used the hairdryer my whole life, and then all of a sudden some guy writes in, I use a hairdryer, and all those people are going, oh my God, what a brilliant idea. I'm thinking, brilliant idea.
You're an innovator, John.
I
You're an
hear.
innovator.
John, you can make fun of the guy with the toothpaste all you want, but his mirror hasn't had a cavity in years.
That's right. It's got a beautiful smile.
But yeah, I mean, it's like you use a hairdryer. 2 seconds, you can shave. I mean, what's the big deal?
You know what? I've never thought of using the hairdryer. I
never did
either.
either.
I never
No, I
never
never
thought
did.
of it. No.
I opened the fucking door and the window, and
It's
in
still-
5 minutes,
hey,
it's all
next time you
gone.
take a shower, okay, listeners, here's a life hack from John Ferrantino.
And
Life
now a
hacks.
tip from
Take
John
a shower.
Ferrantino.
I thought everyone did this. As soon as the room can be filled with mist, you open the door, you take your hairdryer, you turn it on, and you go in a circle on the mirror, and within 10 seconds,
John,
you can see.
John,
Yes.
what if you don't have a hair dryer?
Ah,
I don't have a hair dryer.
I don't
my
have one either.
friend.
Well, Patty
don't.
must have a hairdryer. I'm sure she has a hairdryer.
I am. Oh yes, and do you use Chris's hair dryer in her? Her
You can't
beauty
touch
of a-
it. You can't touch it.
I'm not even allowed in the same room with her. Fucking
You know,
shit.
I
man.
just realized, John, last week you're an attorney. This week you're Martha Stewart.
There
I
you
know.
go.
I can. Yeah, I'm just well-rounded, plethora of useless knowledge.
Hey John, I got a corn on my foot. What do I do for that? We should have listeners write in and ask fucking John questions.
Stupid questions.
Yeah, well, I have a
Stupid questions
segment.
for John
Ask
Ferrantino.
That would be
Ask
funny.
John.
Ask John.
I had a drunk
John.
Japanese person in my car, Craig.
Let's
How do I get
start
rid of
that.
him?
Let's start that.
John, whenever I eat an apple, I get a piece of the skin caught in my teeth. What do you do for that, John?
Yes, sue the apple.
Okay, write
Yeah.
your questions to at the bbbbradio@gmail.com, and we'll answer it live on the air.
That would be kind of funny.
That's it.
The BBB radio at
And ask for your
gmail.com.
ask legal advice too.
Yes,
But
the BBB.
don't take it serious because I'm not really a lawyer, but I can try to help you.
But he plays one on TV.
There you go.
Remember, our email is the BBBradio at gmail.com.
BBBradio@gmail.com.
You know, we were talking about these crazy service animals. I was reading this story
Crazy.
about these flight attendants that were talking about shit that people bring on the plane. Like the guy had a pet, his emotional,
Orangutan?
emotional stress squirrel.
What?
Oh.
One had a service duck.
See, I want to. I got now. Listen, my monkeys, as we all remember, Mike Grief's monkeys. They are service animals. They keep me calm. They like when I need something, like when I need them to go, get Dorothy, they fly
You
off.
don't have to worry about them getting caught in your hair like Fred
Nope.
Putt's mom.
Nope, no monkeys in my hair.
Wait, so that somebody has a service duck?
Yeah, a service duck.
Yeah, some quack probably prescribed that.
Actually, though, I want to get my dog listed as a service animal because there are certain places where I want to take them. You can't take them unless it's a service
so
animal.
Here, another piece of advice from John Ferrantino.
Another piece of advice.
Let's
Go
go.
online and go to Amazon and put in service animal tag. You will get a service tag for your dog that has a barcode. And also,
does that make him a service animal though?
Not really, but they can't stop you.
I got you.
You show it, and it's got that thing, and there's even got a barcode where they scan that with their phone and dial the number that comes up. It says, Mike Grief is the owner of, dude who is a service animal for emotional support or whatever.
He is, man. Let me tell you something. My dog has stopped me from killing lots of people. It's like the son of Sam. Sam was the dog told what's his name to kill people. My dog says, "Stop killing people. Will you stop it already? It's ridiculous."
So it's the opposite of Berkowitz's dog.
It's the cousin of Sam. He was much more calm. No, but seriously, it's the truth though. My dog is a cute little friggin' dog, and he keeps me calm. And a lot of times it's like, it's like I want to bring them into hospitals and stuff. You ever see people that bring their dogs because it brings a lot of joy. It brings a lot of
I had another passenger in my car, and people want to bring their animals in the car, and they're afraid I'm going to tell them to leave, and they know that if it's a service animal, I can't do that.
Right.
I had this guy bringing this little shaky Chihuahua that fit pretty much in the palm of his hand, and he was selling this lie so badly. It was not a service animal, but as we're driving, I swear to God, he sat in the back of my car going, "You're a good service animal. What a wonderful little service animal you are."
Yeah.
Like he had to convince me that it was actually providing a service for him.
I think he was convincing the Chihuahua.
Yeah, really. I want to know what service it was really providing. Jeez.
Yeah, I put a service animal once. I unzipped it, didn't know what to do. Thank you. I'm here all week.
All right. See, now you had to bring it to that creepy ass level, Craig.
It was such a joke, dude.
I didn't even get the joke. I'm so stupid.
I unzipped. He's a service animal. I unzipped. He didn't know what to do. Unzipped.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah,
John, you don't want to know, John.
You
don't want to know. You don't know. It's a dumb joke.
I think
Just a joke.
I think my comedy level is more sophisticated than that.
Yes.
It is.
Oh, that was a horrible thing to say.
Yeah. No. I was in the gutter. You're right on that one.
Well, here's the big comedy, whatever. You guys saw I missed the beginning of the Golden Globes. So
good for you. You're a very smart man.
Not smart. I just forgot it was on. Just turned it on. The beginning was already over. So I missed the big controversy about the comedian who they said he bombed. I don't know.
I was watching it and my service animal turned off the TV. It knew. It was of service.
So bad that Craig wanted to leave him on the curb in the rain.
There you go.
No, it was horrible. He was not. I'm sorry. He might be a good comic, but this is the wrong venue.
See, How could it be so bad? People are like, it's horrible. It's a stand-up comic. He's
It
doing
was
a show.
terrible.
The worst that could happen is he didn't do great. I don't understand why they think it was horrible. What did he do that was so
He
horrible?
actually asked Robert De Niro how he got his wife pregnant at 80.
That's a legitimate question. I mean, he probably had some help.
Not on national TV.
I'd like to ask Robert De Niro, how the fuck did you get her pregnant? What do you got? 2 sticks and some string? How do you fucking keep it up, you old bastard?
All his jokes were bombing. All his jokes were bombing, right? And he actually panicked a little bit and went, "Wow, you're laughing at all the jokes I wrote."
Right.
I think the best line ever was when Ricky Gervais came out and said, "Hey, welcome to the Golden Globes Awards. These are all the people you won't see at the Academy Awards."
Wow. Well, yeah.
You know what I say? I say, listen, it's got to be a hard job. I wouldn't want to criticize anyone until you walk a mile in their shoes. Now, I wouldn't probably take a gig like that because I don't think I'd get hired for a gig like that. But you know, I just think it's like, and I heard he had only a short time to prepare.
10 days. He had 10 days. But you know what, Mike? I think we both know what not to do.
Yeah.
Not. That's the thing.
I mean, and that you mentioned, I saw a list of all the comics that turned it down.
2 of them that I know. Chris Rock and was Ali
Sheedy.
Ali Sheedy turned it down.
Paradise Alley.
That I never did comedy before.
I don't know, man. We know what not to do. We can go out there and we can.
No, you know what you know what to do as a stand-up comic? You collect the check. That's what you do.
Well, but the thing is, you need somebody with gravitas. You need somebody who can stand toe to toe and make fun of Meryl Streep and Robert De Niro.
Reason why these Comedy Central roasts don't work compared to the D. Martin roasts.
Right.
Because on the D. Martin roast, they were all famous people making fun of another famous person.
Right.
Where now you have a famous person being
making fun of by like fucking half of nobodies.
Been in the business 5 years.
Which is the funniest part is when the celebrity who's being roasted gets up and goes, looks at somebody and goes, who the fuck is that? You know?
Yeah.
You're right. This guy did, Ricky Gervais.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be on the same level with the people that you.
I agree.
I mean, some of those, I have a lot of the
time on your hands.
A lot of the roasts before they were televised.
The old Dean Martin roasts.
Yeah, before they were.
I love those. Yeah.
And they're really there. I mean, there was one where Ed Sullivan was there and Don Rickles was being roasted. And every time anytime Don Rickles would walk by him, he would say something like, "So, Ed, when you got up this morning, was the ground cold?" Yeah, I didn't recognize you without I didn't recognize you without a peg through your heart.
Oh man.
And all this stuff. And then Ed Sullivan gets up and goes, "Don, you've been on my show many times, and I know you and your wife Sylvia, and I just have to tell you something, Don. Fuck you, you bald-headed prick." It's just the funniest thing.
Who's always the funniest?
The biggest laugh you've ever heard.
Foster Brooks. Foster Brooks was always the funniest on that.
My father used to love Foster Brooks.
He played he was always drunk on just hilarious.
My favorite Ricky Gervais line was he was introducing, he goes, "Our next 2 presenters," he goes, "the first one you've seen in Philadelphia, Apollo 13, The Green Mile, Forrest Gump, Splash. He's won 2 Academy Awards and produced series like Band of Brothers and From the Earth to the Moon." The other guy's Tim Allen. And Tim Allen came out so fucking pissed.
And it's so funny. And he would come out drinking beer the entire time. He'd have a can
of
beer.
That's what he does on his specials. But I figured it out. He's got a podium and he keeps a beer there. That's when he goes back to probably looking at his notes, Yeah,
and the thing is, they listen to Ricky. That's the thing. They listen to him because they want to see what he's going to say next. Sorry.
And what I like about Richie Gervais is he's got like a very different delivery than most comics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The way it's sort of like he does the punchline, and he like kind of tags his punchline with like a logical thought.
Yes.
Like, he comes out and he goes like this. He goes, "Let's face it, folks. I'm exactly like Jesus." You can't argue it. I travel around the world, tell my little stories.
The little stories.
Yes, I tell my little stories. Come on, you can't argue that I'm not. It's like
he's funny. I think he's, like I said, he's one of the funniest stand-up comedians of all time. I mean, he's
He
up
got
there.
balls. That's why he's got balls of steel.
yeah.
That's something I admire. People who just like Bill Burr, balls of steel. Ricky
Bill Burr. Bill Burr is very funny too.
I'd love to have Bill has his own podcast. I'd love to have him on this show.
I watched a movie a couple nights ago, and it was Bill Burr, and I think he wrote it and directed it, and it was really a pretty funny movie. It was called Old Dads.
Oh, I heard of that.
It was worth the watch. Definitely worth the watch. I mean, and especially, like I said, he deals with his anger, and I think.
Wait, is that the one where he goes to pick up his kid to school?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that scene is fantastic.
Yeah, and check. It's worth watching. It was. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good.
I didn't see the movie. I just saw that scene.
It hit me, and Patty, my wife, kept looking at me because it's like every time he got angry and said something stupid, she looked at like, "That's you." No.
The best scene ever in any movie of picking up the kid is in Uncle Buck.
Oh, God.
I love Uncle Buck. Yeah,
He goes in with the woman, Mrs. Wart.
Here's a quarter. Go downtown and have a rat gnaw that thing off your face.
Even the music when he pulls up, that funky Cole Medina when he pulls up in that car backfiring.
Yep. How are we doing on time, man? Well, I think we're getting the time signal from our producer.
We should also promo what's coming up in the next couple of weeks too.
Yes, we got some great shows coming up. We got Kathy Ladman is going to be doing the show.
She was on Curb Your Enthusiasm, right?
Yep, and we got John Manflotti is going to be doing the show.
Everybody Loves Raymond and Somewhere in Queens.
Somewhere in Queens. He was on Men of a Certain Age. I mean, just a really funny and a great guy.
And a big Met fan. We're going to talk about the Mets.
And he used to be a cook at the comic strip.
No, get out of here.
Did he really?
He was a cook at the comic strip.
We got to talk about that.
That's bring it up.
Yeah, with Brian Regan.
We'll have to bring that up.
I got to get him on my cooking show.
There you go.
Cook some mozzarella sticks.
A cook, throw.
Wait, that's Italian. Craig, are you have any Italian?
46%.
You just said mozzarella sticks. You are fucking not Italian.
What are you supposed to say?
Mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
Well, let's face it this way. Have you had the mozzarella sticks?
You're about as Italian as you are.
Mozzarella stick sounds Jewish.
You're about as Italian as you are Jewish.
I'm 11% Jewish, too.
Mozzarella stick is like a matzah wrapped.
Hello, I'd like a mozzarella stick, please. Give me a
My mouth is Jewish. My stomach is Italian. There you go.
Do you guys have a restaurant called Thai Thai?
No, we got
no.
It's a chain.
No, I thought it was a panda. I thought it sounded was a panda bear. Chai
They have a thing in there called the Flaming
Anus.
Flaming Craig.
Flaming Anus.
Eat
this, and you'll fucking love it tomorrow.
Now we don't have a Thai Thai.
Volcano.
Oh my God!
It's like crispy beef.
I would like that.
Just enough of
I bet you would.
With just enough spice where it's not like burning your brains out. So good. Oh my God.
We don't have Thai Thai here, but I did drop off a woman at a place called Tom Tom in West Hollywood. And what I did, her name was Jessica, and I got a big tip from her because I did this. I went, well, we're at Tom Tom, Jessica. She gave me a nice tip.
Well,
okay.
She was so happy she get dropped off in a puddle on the curb.
It wasn't raining that night. That's why.
Everyone gives Craig a big tip because they're happy they just made it out of his car.
Yeah, they should see me drive, man.
Alive. Yeah. They're happy they're alive.
You know they call their relatives after that and go, holy shit, I just fucking had a ride from the weirdest, creepiest motherfucker I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, he had a tarantula on his face, but he seemed calm.
Oh, fuck. We're having a party, man. We're celebrating. I'm still alive after riding with that guy.
I thought we were supposed to end the show.
Yeah, end the show, John. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So that's our show.
Goodbye.
Yeah, we had no topic. We had
we're the Big Bad Broadcast. I told you the show would be about nothing, and we delivered.
Fairly well.
A lot of fun, and it's very funny. It's a very funny show because we are three funny and crazy guys.
Worth the while.
For Craig Mitchell.
Hey.
Hey.
And me, I'm John Ferrantino.
Peace to you and your family.
Bye-bye.
See you next Friday.
Oh, you can watch us on any place you get your podcasts.
I think they know. They're listening.
Okay.
Now blow me like you know me.
All right, that's not going to be there.
Okay.